Hey guys, and welcome back to another video from the Calcio Bros. I'm Christian with my brother Luca, where we're going to discuss our opinions coming up for week 2 of Serie A.
Yeah, so this week we're going to discuss these fixtures for this week and what last week we had with good games and good goals coming up from every team. And so this week we're going to discuss the upcoming games and the best possible outcomes, and as well as the top fixtures for this week. So as you can see, the best fixture we have for this week is the top teams right now, Inter and Roma, playing it out at the Olimpico this week. We also have Napoli playing home to Atalanta, Fiorentina Sampdoria, which will most likely be a good game. And Genoa always surprises Juve at home, so that will be a big game coming up as well.
So going into the fixtures then, playing on Saturday the 26th, 2 games will open up the day at midday, which are Benevento and Bologna, and Genoa Juventus. And as Luca said, Genoa has surprised Juventus at home. Do you think there could be another surprise in the making, perhaps?
We'll see. Juve is really strong this year, still from last year. But Genoa could always be surprised. They won it, I believe last year, was it?
1-0, I believe they beat them after a surprising turn of events, really.
So, yeah, I think Genoa could surprise us, and hopefully they do. And hopefully it'll be a good game that day.
And Juve do want to start off consistent. They do want to keep winning. They want to maintain their dominance in Serie A. But we'll see what Genoa can do. And speaking of the other game, Benevento-Bologna. Bologna opened up their weekend with a draw against Torino, but Benevento are looking to bounce back at home. This is their debut game at home in Serie A, so they do hope to put on a show for their fans and hoping they can grab the 3 points. Do you think?
Well, Bologna did play really good in the last game, and Benevento again against a good home team with Sampdoria. I believe they did well, even though they lost. I could see they fought for their as much as they could until Sampdoria did get the victory in the end. But we'll see what will happen.
And then going on to the afternoon fixture is the big game of the weekend. AS Roma versus Inter, which will be a good game. The Giallorossi did take the victory last year, where they defeated Inter 2-1, goals from Dzeko and Manolas for the Roma, while Inter had a goal from Banega, who is now departed. Do you see Roma taking all 3 points here? It is Spalletti's return to the Olimpico. Inter does have a different team at the back. They do have new and upgraded midfield. Do you see Inter maybe turning out with a result in their favor, or?
As a Roma fan, I always gotta say Roma, but Inter are looking to be a stronger side this year from last year, and Spalletti is whipping them into shape. Again, Di Francesco's first really home game with Roma. In the friendlies, I don't think we had a home game in Rome. I don't believe so. So, with that in mind, he has to really step up, Di Francesco, to really take this Roma side and drive him through the ground and drive him towards the top flight. So this will be a really big step in his career and overall season to see where we stand.
And I guess you could say this is his first real test too, considering friendlies are never really official games, and he hasn't really had an official game since his appointment, I believe, because they didn't have a Coppa Italia game, they didn't have a Champions League game, they had no Super Cup, so this is going to be Di Francesco's true test with Roma, probably.
Yeah, and hopefully the fans show up, and I know the ultras are still having their back and forth with the team, and hopefully they do, because we need all the fans we can get during this game. Inter are a very, very strong side this year, and it'll be hard to beat them at home, even we'll see what happens. So
do you think it probably could finish as a draw, or do you think?
Yes and no. Like, we never point out who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, and I think during the game we can really see who's the better side in the end. So,
and especially most of them are just trying to improve on their first game. We'll see if they can stay consistent and be able to come up with a victory, but we'll see how it goes. So opening up Sunday then is Torino Sassuolo at midday. It'll be an interesting game for both teams to pick up results. They both drew last weekend. Both of them are trying to do better. Torino with one of the top players last year, and Andrea Bellotti, who's trying to regain his form. Let's see if he can continue his scoring prowess again this year. So we'll see what he can do.
Well, Torino do look a good side, but they have lost and gained a lot of strength in their team. Lagic and Iago Falk are, I think, doing well for what they were doing at Roma. And I think with that behind Belotti, who they did not sell this year, could actually be a benefit with them probably finishing maybe in the Europa League this year. And even with Sirigu coming in, Rincon, and the backup of Sadiq helping out Belotti could help out their team overall.
Yeah, considering they did lose players like Tetrasides, Perez, they also lost Benassi, who was a good young player in the midfield. But again, they did pick up players like Rincon, Sadiq, who will help them out. They did have Joe Hart, who didn't have the greatest spell with them last year. So at least Sirigu will probably be a better improvement, and hopefully he can refine his form as well. And then now for the afternoon games, all at 2:45, we have AC Milan hosting Cagliari, Chievo at home to Lazio, Crotone, Verona, Fiorentina, Sampdoria, Napoli, Atalanta, and Spal, Udinese. I guess the biggest game for that afternoon will probably be between Fiorentina, Sampdoria, or Napoli, Atalanta. I would say for that game, it's hard to. Both games are going to be very, very good. Fiorentina looking to bounce back at home against Sampdoria, who did lose Muriel, who may even lose Sheik by the time this video is done. We don't know yet, but we'll see what'll happen.
I feel like another good fixture would be the Chievo-Lazio, with Lazio only getting a draw with Spal at home, which was a surprise result, and with Chievo being a pretty strong team getting their win, I believe. Yeah,
they beat Udinese away, so we'll see how they can do at home now against Lazio.
With Chievo having that confidence now to bring to Lazio home, it will be an interesting game to see if Lazio is really stepping up from last year. So we'll see.
I know Milan now playing their first game at home this year to Cagliari with all their new signings. It'll be good to open up at home with a good victory. This will be a great way for a lot of the new signings to go, but we'll see how it finishes. They do have their Europa League qualifier this week, so we'll see what players they will start. We do have Spal Udinese, Spal's goalie Meret starting against his team right now. Spal do have experience. They do have a chance. Let's see if they are able to pick up the 3 points needed.
But overall, I think all these fixtures will be pretty good to see. It's again a new Serie A year. To see each team playing it out at home and away, back and forth, will be very, very good to see. And always glad to have Serie A back.
Also, this being the last game before the Calcio Mercato finishes, as well as the international break, so by the afternoon games we will know who gets called up to the international teams for Italy as well for their upcoming World Cup qualifiers. There could be some standouts. We'll see what happens this weekend, who Ventura picks. We'll have a video as well breaking down our thoughts on his team as well, so stay tuned for that. And then also, do you think this game will also be a decider for how active teams will be in the final day of the Mercato?
It's a back and forth question, really. The Mercato deadline, I think, it's a day that teams really fight for that last play they want to get to improve their team. And again, this is the last game before the Mercato, like you said, and we'll see what teams need support where. So I think will be a deciding factor in the coming days. So as well, guys, put down in the comments who do you think will be this game of the weekend, and who do you think will be the player to watch for this week.
Give us also your predictions for these games, and hoping you stay tuned for more videos. Follow us on Twitter again, Calcio_bros. Link will be in the description below, and we hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao.
See ya.